Hello everyone, welcome to the 8th round of the Speedforce Racing GP2 Championship. My name is Jane Wall and I'm alongside with Gareth. Hello Gareth.
Hello, 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 how are we?
I think we're both feeling good and be ready for a crazy race up the streets of Azerbaijan and who's going to be the street fighter of today?
Well, I don't think it's going to be M. Bison or anything like that, but it's going to be an absolute whopper tonight. If anything, it's like been in the past two races, GP4 and 3, I think tonight is going to be just the same. But who knows? You know, we can see a bit of rain in play here, so who knows? It's going to be a good one.
Yes, and before we will go into the qualifying session, we'll quickly go through the championship standings. King David leads the way ahead of Exclaimer. In third we have Ebony, fourth we have Senna, fifth Gobble, sixth Irish Newt Potato, seventh is Nadim, eighth is Quinton, ninth is Topic, Surjit is in 10th place, and outside the top 10 are Frederick, Mike, Cassidy, James CLH, Golden Crimson, Chris, Mr. Rage, Nabil Ocho and Jervy. And in the constructor standings is Renault leading the way in front of McLaren, Mercedes, Alfa Romeo, Racing Point, Williams, Red Bull, Scuderia Ferrari, Alfa Tauri and Haas. And there are some hot news in the paddock where Sergio Perez has announced that he's leaving Racing Point at the end of the season. And what's your thought about it?
I don't know why he's doing that. Unless something in the background told him to go do one. They've made some sort of deal with Vettel to join next season, but I don't know, it's a weird one that. I mean, the most underrated driver who should be in a top team, I know he's been in one in McLaren, but that was too early on in the season, but he's one of those guys I think should be fighting for a title years ago. So, you know, guy's been there for so long, you know, he already signed a new 3-year contract and now it turns out he's not driving next season. It's going to be a bit of a weird one wherever he goes.
Yes, and he's running... and he's running out of options, and he only has the lower teams with Alfa Romeo and Haas. But I'm really surprised by the news. A few weeks ago he was quite confident he will stay with Racing Point, and his sponsors will pay more money to the team. But surprisingly, they don't go through any longer.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, like I say, I mean, he's in a good team where he knows that on a good day he can get podiums. To fall out of that team and go to a smaller one, that's not really what he wants to do. He wants to be in a bigger team. He doesn't. He needs to be right up there. He should be, you know, fighting for wins and podiums. That guy. Totally underrated.
Yes, and I think he's also unlucky that he now finally in his career he has a fairly decent car, and then it's now the time that they terminate his contract. That's pretty surprising.
It's messed up in my eyes. It's messed up, but needless to say, let's not take that away from what racing we have tonight, which is going to be so fun, so fun tonight.
And at the track where Perez has got the most podiums out of any Formula 1 driver, here at Baku.
I know, right?
Yeah, he got 2 podiums here in 2016 and 2018.
Guy knows how to drive it. The guy knows how to drive. That's one thing.
Yes, indeed.
So we're 3 drivers short, so it's a lot better than what it was last week. So I think, to be honest, no one wanted to race in Monaco. But I don't know why, from one street circuit to another. Few guys are not here tonight. Obviously, likes of No Nude Potato, Nadim, who was known as Mead and Crombie.
Oh, okay.
He's not here tonight, and neither's Topics in the Haas. He's not here tonight, and neither is Gervy, from what I can tell. But we do have two for both Haas drivers are not here tonight, which is Rage and Topics. And in come the two reserves of Wadlow, Billy and Martin, who I know Billy struggled last night in GP3. Joys of having those walls come up and scare you, knock your wing off is not always the best. Of course, Martin as well, who's been doing really well in GP3, and obviously we can keep on going for the entire rest of the season. It's still in there, but obviously there is a massive gap between him and JD Salo at the moment.
Yes, and if you're watching the stream and asking when are we going, the start has been delayed by 5 minutes, so I think we can now ready up now, as it's 5 over 30.
It's time to get going. There's also a couple of others reserves tonight. I've got Schwab win tonight as well, who had an absolutely fantastic race again last night, and we have a GP2 reserve. Frey Pepper, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, I have no idea. Or Frel. If it'd be in Belgium, it's going to be pronounced in a totally different way, and I'm sure you might have better pronunciation than me, Robin, with that, to be honest. James is asking, how many points do you have? James, you have a grand total of 25 points to your name. And good evening to you as well, Jensen. Hope you're doing really well.
How many people did race in Monaco last week in GP2? Or
How many? How many? Let's have a quick check for you. GP2 last week in Monaco, there was a grand total of, believe it or not, it was actually good. It was the best. It was the second best turnout behind GP4, who had 19 turn up last week. GP2 had 16.
Still a good amount for Monaco. I can remember some races where only 12 people have turned up, but still good for a track that everyone hates.
Yeah, I don't really mind it. I mean, I don't like racing it, I don't like qualifying in it either, but it doesn't bother me too much. If I have to race it, I'll race it. Unfortunately, I only can race every other week, so I got a bit lucky and didn't have to. So you're putting your money on tonight. What do you think will be your top 3 for tonight?
Well, GP2 in his DNA has always something unpredictable, and same as Baku, so we may see a surprise winner. But let's enjoy the fun tonight, I will say.
Well, compared to the season already, we've had multiple different winners so far this season. Looking back through who's won races, China and Australia were 2 reserves who won those races. I think it was Young's Lights who won Australia, who's no longer in the league anymore. But looking at all the others, no one has had consistent victories. I mean, Senna's had one, King David's had a victory, Ben's had one. New Potatoes had one, and so's Mike. So it's indifferent. There's no standout runaway leader at the moment. So it's all very tight. It's all very close. So yeah, I think it's just going to be whoever finishes, basically. I think, to be honest. Going to be getting started. Everyone's starting to ready up. Finally, we can get going.
Finally, yes.
We want to see some racing. The one thing I'm going to be asking is because we don't know what the weather's going to be like for qualifying or for the race itself. But my question to you now, Robin, tyres. I know firsthand what these things are going to do to these tyres, but I mean, in your eyes, like I say, you've got to do this tomorrow night as well. If it was you, what kind of strategy would you be doing? You know, would you be trying to do one or two?
In the past I've done 2 stops around there, as I don't like to do 20 laps on kind of tire with the tire wear at the end. On this game I don't really know the strategies around there. I haven't done a lap around Baku, only on 5 laps. But I think we'll see. It's a dry qualifying, but as it is a street circuit and you want to start at the front, I assume everyone will go for a soft tire and may go to a 2-stop road in both mediums, or going long and then going on to the hard tire. We'll see about that.
I'm just checking it now. Crimson's already got onto the medium tyres. There's an Alpha Tauri coming out. It's either Mike or it is Mike. No, it's not. It's Nabil Ocho. He's going to be the first man out. Straight onto the softs.
It's the first time I see this Nabil Ocho guy in the Alpha Tauri. Have you seen him earlier in this league, or?
He actually came in last week in Monaco. Unfortunately, didn't actually finish Monaco. He was one of the few drivers that obviously crashed into the walls, DNF, tried to pits, those kind of things. But no, he's a brand new driver, Belgian driver, from what I can see. Obviously, the admins have got him in. We're happy with his pace. I believe he's GP2. And let's see if he can do pretty well tonight, get some points onto the board to start off his SFR points career. Like I see, he's donning the black helmet, as everyone likes to wear every now and again.
And is racing since this week for a race-winning team in F1. And I see that most guys are opting for the soft and a few for the medium to start the qualifying off. But
there's only a few on the mediums, only 2 out on mediums right now. That's Golden Crimson and Darbo, so it'll be interesting to see what they do. Everyone else is on mediums. James and Schwab have also chosen mediums, but they're still sitting in the pits at the moment. Same with Serge, Cassidy, and of course Senna as well.
Maybe it's a kind of qualifying strategy where you start on the harder composite tire and then go on to the soft. But then for the races who come a late stage car, you have a new soft available.
Yeah, this is a weird track itself. I mean, like I say, everyone's going to go on the softs, but these softs will last around about 7 laps, and they are dead. They're literally dead. The rears will be totally destroyed, as I found out last night, or if not, the G-Man found out last night as well when he had a rear right puncher. The rears don't last. There's too many stop-start corners, and they will get destroyed. But, just following Ocho, see what he pulls out of the bag, coming from the beautiful part of the section which everyone seems to hate, and that's Castle.
Yes, how much confidence will you get through this very tight section?
Close your eyes and hope for the best. It's always the best way in my eyes.
Yes, really. The one takes the castle section as it is a little straight, and some are really careful, hoping that they not crash. Same GLH has left the session, and this season I've seen a lot from him that he's disconnected in this season.
Yeah, a lot of people do have connection issues, but it's whether or not they're hardwired, if they're on Wi-Fi, the distance away from the modem, if they are on Wi-Fi, how many people are using it. That will always contribute to it. I mean, I hardwire myself with a modem online, so very rarely will I have a disconnect. Who is the same with a lot of other people, but Archo's coming on the line, DRS wide open, and he's going to bounce in with a 1 minute 39.6. It's an impressive time.
That's quite a good time indeed.
And completely misses the first corner at the same time, pulled donuts in the car park.
Golden Crimson was going fast with a 39.3. That's a really decent time on the mediums, I think.
It is. 39.3 is a cracking time. That's about 10th out of what I managed. But the standout is Tino Friedrich, 38.7. That's bonkers times. I'm not sure if anyone could beat that from Friedrich. But it'd be interesting if it does. All the times are starting to come in. And let's see who else is. So Williams coming over the line. No, it's not. So we're starting the lap. I think it was Schumacher. It was.
I'm following Mike in 12th place at the moment. He has done the quickest purple
Oh dear, Schumacher. Yeah, Schumacher just lost all of his front wing as he lost out turn 2.
Oh. Let's see what Mike does, who started the season off in the Division 1 but has dropped the position, and he goes to P1 with a 38.5.
That's a cracking time of 38.5. I can only imagine trying to do those, to be honest. I thought doing a 39.2 last night was hard enough. But Jesus, 38.5. Wow.
Yeah, I'm always in the 39s. I never can get into the 38. So
getting a 38 round here is just basically inhuman. But I wouldn't be surprised if someone pops out with a 37 tomorrow night for GP1.
Yeah, that are GP1 things.
I'm sure you can do a 37. You've got it in you. I know you can do it.
Well, I hate this track, so that's a problem.
I think we all love and hate some tracks. I really enjoy this track. Like I say, the castle section I enjoy the most. Don't know why, I just enjoy it. Feels like a roller coaster going through it. If your car sets up right, it feels like a go-kart. It's brilliant. Senna is on a lap at the moment. My old teammate for the GP4 days. He's still running that Renault. Just as am I in GP3, so the times have changed. He got faster, I stayed the same pace-ish. Maybe a little bit slower.
A very dominant pair of Renault was it last season. That's for all I know.
I wouldn't say dominant. I mean, he got all the wins. I didn't get any. So I was your typical number 2 driver like Kimi Räikkönen. Doesn't win very many. I'm a good number 2 driver. I don't win races. End of story. I don't win races. It's the same with this season with me and JD Savo. I just turn up for half the races and don't really do much. He just wins. So yeah, sword, we're fine.
Where can Senna put his medium run on?
Traffic. So Alfa Romeo's moved out of the way. That's an Alfa Tauri with no front wing. Not sure who that would have been. Well, Michael or Ocho. I think it was Mike who's lost his front wing there.
Yeah, Mike is the only Alfa Tauri out on track. It's going very slowly actually.
Oh, he's getting a nice little tow from the Racing Point. Alpha, you know, the Racing Point Force India, Aston Martin, whatever you want to call it these days. The pink machine, Mercedes-B. 140.4 for Senna on the medium, so he's the second highest of the medium runners. And a couple of cars coming out, a Williams and a Ferrari, right behind each other.
And it now shows the Golden Crimson is very fast on the medium, as he's a second faster almost than Senna and the rest of people on the mediums.
Well, Golden Crimson's another level. Like I say, he used to be with us, I believe. So, he was obviously scheduled for season 6, wasn't around much, wasn't in season 5, and a very quick driver. I mean, like I say, he used to be Prem pace, very quick with the Prem guys. and I think he's just finding his feet again. But again, a very, very quick driver. Just trying to see if anyone's out on a lap at the moment. Chris is on a lap at the moment.
Yes, I'm following now. He says the fast sector one time, at least the game says.
The game says.
Yeah, sometimes you see that everyone goes purple, but they get an 8th place, for example.
Yeah, I've had plenty of those. And James has joined back yet again. Just looking at chat, Diego Garcia, hello to you as well. Thank you for joining us. Any questions, do pop some in. We'll quite happily answer them. I'm just wondering if anyone's going to be that 38.5 and Friedrich Golden Crimson.
Very busy
Friday.
here.
It is very busy, and like Chris is getting very held up right now with so much traffic.
We can now get a lovely slipstream.
They're not moving out of the way from, are they? They're putting the foot down, but Chris is going to get a massive toe from it. He's going to get a double toe from Williams right here. He's going to get a whopping toe.
I think he will love this one.
He's pulled out. He's pulled out the toe.
Why does he do that?
Online. And he slowed down.
Still faster than medium runners, but why did he slow down?
He did. He slowed right down. He just came off the power. I thought he would have gone quicker than a 140.1, to be honest. He's got a double toe off the Williams there. It was very strange. Don't understand that one. I'm sure it's all over the place, but then again he's lagging like crazy for me at the moment, and he's gone straight on. Not having much fun today in that Williams. He's gonna have to back up onto that track, otherwise he's gonna get disqualified. He's following the number 21, which I've not seen since Esteban Gutierrez.
I'm following now the Belgium Nabil Ocho guy. He's improving, that's all what I know. And he goes up to 5th.
We do have a 19th entry, and it is NV Nelly, who races as a GP3. He is a GP3 driver as well, and a very quick driver nonetheless. So we'll see what he can do tonight. So we do have 19 drivers starting this race. Whether or not Nelly can actually put out a lap or not, that's a different question altogether.
How did the Williams slipstream work?
It didn't, because Shoyab went straight on and did a 64-point turn, so didn't really get to do much else. It just seems to be struggling with that Williams with setup, but he is lagging a hell of a lot on my screen anyway, so I don't really know if it's just like everything in power slides for ever since born.
X-Gamer goes up to P3 in his Renault car.
39.1, that's a cracking good time.
And King
Storm,
David
hello,
goes to
evening,
4th.
how are you doing? Thanks for joining us and watching the show.
And now following Soviet, who was a surprising winner at in the streets of Vietnam. It was in a race where everything pretty much happened.
The win in the end, no, the winner of Vietnam ended up going to King David.
Oh, they didn't tell me that one, but he was the win. So it was the winner on track at least.
I think it was to do with the DRS straights. 4G backed off and let King David pass him intentionally to get the DRS down the long straight, and yeah. Well, you know, they deemed it at the time as it's not in the rules, but unfortunately it was a bit, so to speak, I don't know what the word is, but a bit unprofessional. You know there's a DRS straight, you want to get advantage of it, let the guy go through so you get the benefit. It's a bit unsportsmanlike, to be honest, so I think they've put something in now where if you're ahead, you stay ahead. Don't back off, so to speak, to try and get an advantage.
Well, personally, when you have the kind of tracks like Vietnam and a few others, also like this one, Baku, you do this very tactically to become the winner out of it, and it's more with the tactical of the game in my opinion, and you shouldn't be punished for it. That's my opinion about it. And the Azerbaijan stewards have a different one.
There's been tactical, but there's been I'm just going to slow down on this straight on purpose. So there's tactical and shown the obvious, but like I say it's what the stewards deemed it, and but yeah, that's what they did. So we ended up getting third. James left the session again, and I'm watching his ghost car. We've got Cassidy on. I think he's definitely on an outlap. About 10 seconds off his time,
yeah.
So it's definitely on an outlap or second outlap. Mike thinks he can go faster. He's going out again.
And he's starting his lap now, so we're gonna have a look if he can go faster.
We certainly shall. I mean, like I say, that the goal for the two guys in front already 5 to 6 tenths quicker than anyone else on the track is quite impressive.
But expect Golden Crimson to hit the front also, as he has set his best time on the medium and his fifth.
Just checking back on the chat itself, Storm is supporting Billy. Here he goes, cheering on Billy tonight. He needs a good result. So Wilo Billy, if you're hearing that, Storm is right behind you. You have a support tonight. Let's go.
Well, he is 6th, and that's, I think, a pretty good position to start this race off. Hope to keep the nose clean.
I mean, that's an absolutely cracking qualifying time for Wildlow Billy to do a 39.3. He didn't quite manage that last night in GP3, if I just quickly check to what he did last night with myself. He did. I mean, last night he only managed a 1 minute 40.4.
Then
So
this is a massive improvement.
He's gone over it, yeah, no, a second quicker. So unless he's been on time trials today, got himself a different setup, feels more comfortable. But definitely being over a second quicker from one night to the next is a huge gain.
Oh, Mike hits the wall of the technical final corner. So he won't improve his time, which he wasn't going to do anyway. But his qualifying is now over. Now he just hopes he can start from pole position.
Dobbo is retired. He doesn't think he can go any faster, or is just thinking of a different strategy, which is actually quite clever. If I was Dobbo, straight onto the hards. Yeah, that's it. Job done. Instead, Nelly has given up on his lap.
Well, now you said that about Kobo. If you had known me, he started at the back, and he was going on the hards, and when he made his pit stop, he was in the lead, with all the carnage going on in front of him, and he benefited from that.
You can, well, I say with these two corners, the first and second corner are just, I mean, the first one's a bit more open, the second one is very close and very tight. You've got to be very clever. If you're going to put your nose in, you need to make sure that you're either alongside or slightly in front. There's no point trying to dive bomb it into those corners, because you're both going to lose out. Both of you would lose out.
Yes, and I see now something interesting with Chris. When he did his lap on the soft, he backed off at the end, and is now trying to qualify on the mediums into the top 10. Is that a strategy you would recommend for him, or do you prefer to start on the soft?
It's an interesting strategy, to say the least. There's not really one I'd actually go for, because trying to go faster than 1 minute 40 on mediums is not. It's possible, but it's not.
Oh, he hits the wall.
Easy.
He touched the wall a little bit, but he also has now the disadvantage on the previous lap that he got a massive toe from Frederick. Well, he's a second off his time. I'm wondering if he will improve his time. Let's have a check. The checkered flag is now out.
I'm just checking Shuab right now. Unfortunately, time is out for Shuab. He's on currently on an outlap, Do remember, you cannot cross that line if you set that lap, because the qualifying is over.
Chris, improve his time, but it's P11.
Hope stewards are taking note of this. Shuab has crossed the line after the qualifying timer is gone.
Ken Frederick takes pole off Mike. Now what can the Renaults do?
James is also on an outlap. Please note, James and Shoyab, the timer is out for qualifying.
Senna goes to 7th and Frederick takes pole, 38.3.
Oh my god, Golden Crimson, 38.1.
Holy Moses, 38.1. Quinton goes 6th with a 39.1, a second slower. And look at Ebony, he's got the toe from King David.
Ben needs something down there in 17th place.
And he'll get it though, and King David got a little toe from Nabil Ocho. What will... King David goes up to 6th and Ebony to 5th. And Ebony and X-Gamer says exact the same time. 1:39.111.
Shoyab has just completely lost his front wing completely. But still at the end of the day, Shoyab, you did cross that line to start your new lap when the timer had already gone to 0. So it would not have counted. Unless the stewards don't mind it, but I still don't believe that should be allowed.
Well, the game said he can set the time, but it's not a quick one.
But there is qualifying is done, and there is your 19 drivers in their positions. But Golden Crimson with a pole of 1:38.1. I couldn't even get nowhere near that last night, so good thing I'm not reserving. I would have made a complete and utter fool of myself. I can only imagine what it's going to be like for you tomorrow night in GP1, but I mean, I say Crimson and Friedrich up there. You got Mike Navalocho in 4th, Ben in 5th, X-Gamer 6th, obviously King David 7th, Quinton 8th, and we're seeing the back end of a Renault right now. Golden Crimson in the pudding chat is saying, hopefully I can keep my pole position.
Oh, Mike has a grid penalty.
Well, he does have a grid penalty. Unless I missed something there, Crimson, I'm not sure why he wouldn't. But we'll have to look back to see why you would need to. Can't really change your pole position, you've got it, it's there. If you cross that line after the timer hits 0, then that'll be down to the stewards to issue any sort of punishment if they're using it. I'm just thinking if they're doing it, I really should take more notice.
Apparently, Mike had a collision with Cassidy, pretty much at the beginning of the qualifying. I didn't know this that one.
Yeah, I don't know why it does that. It's really weird. It's giving out penalties even when your car's an AI and you smash into someone else. I just find it very silly. I don't know why it's doing it, but enjoy the Codemasters. We love to put something strange in the game to keep us all on our toes and rage a bit more about it. Crimson saying he had pole in Monaco and didn't win. That's why. All I can say, if you're from pole and you want to win, go faster. Yeah, that's my advice. Just go faster and defend.
Yes, and keep your concentration at the street tracks. That's probably more important than showing your pace.
I think this is a bit more of an easy one to not have too much concentration on, because it's not. I mean, it's twice as wide than anyone else, than Monaco itself. Monaco is very tight, and you're always watching left, right, and centre. Like I say with Baku, it's a wider track. I mean, look how wide it is just on the start alone. You could fit a whole row of cars right down the middle of it and still have enough room to swing a car.
Yes, and looking at the drivers who are outside the top 10, we see only 2 people opting for the medium, and the rest are opting for the hard tires.
Yeah, it's a good strategy to go on the hard tyres because the hard tyres themselves, if you look after them, really look after them, they should take you to around about lap 20. The rears might be screaming at you at that point, but they should like easily last around about 20 laps. If these guys have been watching anything from last night, I say the top two on hards was Xander and Nelly. I think they pitted on lap 6 or 7 from softs straight onto hards and went to the end of the race on them. Actually, no, we didn't start on softs. Sorry, we started on inters. I can't even remember my own race. You know, they lasted. They went the entire race. So I did the opposite. I went onto mediums and kind of suffered. So the mediums don't last very long because your rears are, well, your fronts could be 38%, your rears are 17. You're like, oh, it's not what you want.
I think the mediums can only go 12 to 30 laps around here. Oh.
They can go a little bit further. I mean, personally, I went about 14, 15 laps on them, 16 laps. They can last, but your tyres are just absolutely dead. Asked the two McLaren guys from yesterday, Spit Dog and of course the G-Man. G-Man unfortunately had a puncture, but they were struggling so much. Anyone on fresh softs would be in around about 7 seconds quicker per lap than worn mediums. That is the drop-off of the mediums to softs. It's enormous. Predictions on safety car, Storm. I don't know. It's a weird one.
I'll go for 3 to 5 with VSCs included.
I'll go for 3 VSCs and no safety cars.
That's
all depends who goes backwards, because if anything, ghosting should be on, especially for Castle, because it was in GP3 last night. Ghosting was on. Anyone that was sideways, and they did have permission to reset during the Castle. Only during the Castle are you allowed to reset. Don't do it anywhere else. I'm telling you now. There we go.
The drivers are all in the grid slot, and let's wait for the 5 red lights to come on.
I shall drop down to where Billy is right now, down in 11th place. I'll watch near the back.
What can he do on his hard tyre, and how will his strategy come into play? Maybe it's the race winning move. We'll see.
We're waiting on something here. We're waiting on someone. We're waiting a long time here.
I saw that Shua was leaving the session before.
I do believe he was asked to leave.
Yeah, by Senna it was.
That's correct. He was asked to leave the session.
And I think the lobby's not stuck.
Broken the lobby. The lobby has broken. So looking out the skyline as we wait to see what's going on, it's quite nice. Very a lot of high rises up there, wind's blowing, blue skies, which is what we like. Trying to find out what's happening here. Everyone is going to restart. The race is being restarted. Please bear with us, guys. Proliver is saying, ASR Geo, hello lads. Senate is loading. Apparently Sena's loading. Don't know what's going on there.
Oh.
ASR Geo just joined the league a few minutes ago. Well, welcome ASR Geo. And do you have any idea which league you're going into? We look forward to. An error has occurred.
For me to say.